Bunker down. I love to the family. So, I don't know what kind of message to leave y'all. I hope everything turns out all right for you. I hope this video reached the grandparents well. I hope that airstrike don't make it to y'all. Not much I can say. Got the waters up. Shalom.
We begin with the worst of the horrors in Israel and Gaza so far. Entire Jewish families, including newborn babies, have been found slaughtered in their homes by Hamas terrorists. For 4 days, they've laid undiscovered. Only now is this atrocity coming to light.
Day and night. No let-up in the bombing of Gaza, the systemic destruction of infrastructure which Israel claims is linked to Hamas. Building after building destroyed. Whole neighbourhoods now lie in ruins, along with the lives of the innocent. Israel's bombing campaign is in part revenge for what happened in villages like Kfar Azar, where today Israeli soldiers went house to house, recovering the bodies of men and women, young and old, too many to count, horrifically slaughtered. As many as 40 children and babies murdered. Many were beheaded.
It's not a war. It's not a battlefield. You see the babies, the mother, the fathers in their bedrooms.
This is the aftermath of 2 days of terror. Some fighters arrived by paraglider. Their bodies now lie where they died. It's what Israel wants the world to see.
I've never seen anything like this. I think back to my grandparents' stories of the Holocaust, and it keeps going through my mind. It's the barbarism that a human being could shed their humanity.
In nearby Be'eri, more bodies are removed. 1,200 people lived here. At least 108 are now dead. The murder of innocents fueling Israel's retaliation.
Hamas operatives have nowhere to hide in Gaza.
And this video from the Israeli Defense Force shows there's nowhere to hide for the 2 million residents either.
My brother was killed. If we stay in our houses, we die. If we go on the streets, we die.
Bodies pile up at the morgue, wrapped in blankets and sheets. There's no more room. Here, volunteers dig through the rubble with their hands to reach the body of a 4-year-old girl whose family had fled, searching for safety. They tried to escape death, he says, only to find it. Nowhere is safe.
That's the view from the balcony.
A journalist inside Gaza posting updates between air raids.
I was trying to explain things, but I think you can hear them now.
Hamas warned people in the southern Israeli city of Ashkelon they would be targeted. Right on cue, the barrage started. It followed a day of indiscriminate attacks, including in Sderot.
That's the alert. We've got 15 seconds to get into here.
The closer you are to the border, the less time you've got.
For the sirens to end, the alerts to finish. This is a bus stop that doubles as a shelter. They're dotted throughout this town.
We were forced into shelters 4 times in the space of a few hours.
You can actually feel it now as well.
Israel's Iron Dome defence system manages to shoot down most of the rockets, but it couldn't stop Saturday's attack. The highways of southern Israel are lined with the remnants of people's lives stopped in their tracks when Hamas terrorists came charging through.
It's clear that so much of the death and destruction here was a matter of bad luck, simply being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
An attack hard to escape. And now Israel is preparing to fight back even further. Towns here are awash with troops searching still for any remaining terrorists, preparing to advance on Gaza. Tanks are on the move and artillery positions have been established. Preparations for a ground offensive to destroy Hamas's terrorist capabilities that could begin at any time.
And let's go to Hugh Whitfield, who's near the Gaza border once again tonight. Hugh, is there any update on those Israeli hostages?
Well, Israel still believes that there's anywhere between 100 and 150 surviving hostages still being held by Hamas, Mark. The Israeli Defence Force has issued a warning saying that not a hair on their heads should be harmed. Israel's army says fighting will intensify. You can see them beginning to move in closer to the border now ahead of that ground invasion. 30 Palestinians were killed overnight in air attacks, but the SAS is planning this ground invasion with another warning. They say the scenes coming out of Gaza in the coming days will be even more difficult to understand and cope with, Mark.
Hugh Whitfield in a very active area in southern Israel. Thank you. Ashley Mullaney is in Ashkelon for us. Ash, you're near a hospital where many survivors of those horror Hamas raids escaped to. Their stories are very hard to hear.
Mark, beyond the death toll, there is a devastating number of Israelis who have been injured, almost 4,000. Many of them were brought here to this hospital in Ashkelon, close by to these small Jewish communities. We've heard from people who have had limbs amputated. The scale of these atrocities, simply hard to comprehend. Now, we're told as of this morning, the army has control of these small communities in the south, but even as of today, there are still active gun battles underway with Hamas terrorists who have infiltrated this area. Mark?
Ashley Mullaney with the latest. Thank you. Now, Australians stuck in Israel will be able to access repatriation flights from Friday. 2 Qantas flights will depart from Ben Gurion Airport in Tel Aviv, heading to London. Australians who want to leave must register with the government's 24-hour consular emergency centre.
We are assessing all options to get Australians home as soon as possible.
The government has also asked Virgin to operate evacuation flights. In the wake of the anti-Jewish Opera House rally, protesters are planning another demonstration this weekend. But police have warned the gathering is not legal and they could face the full force of the law.
2 days after a hate march on the Opera House, the Premier says sorry.
I really want to make it clear to the Jewish community that I want to apologise to them.
The Police Minister under fire for telling the Jewish community to keep away from the city.
The Sydney Jewish community should not feel unsafe in this city.
But some already do.
Actually, it's one of fear, I would say. Children are fearful.
Police investigating this video in Bellevue Hill on Monday. A man ordering teenagers to take down the Israeli flag. Sydney woman Shani has been to 3 massacre funerals in 2 days. Her best friend murdered at the Supernova Festival. She says the Opera House rally sickened her.
I feel more safe in Israel than I think I would be feeling right now in Australia.
Now protesters want to gather again at Town Hall on Sunday.
In our opinion, it won't be happening.
And police say they'll fight any future protest applications.
We will go to the Supreme Court to have it determined illegal.
Authorised or not, police admit they have no powers to stop people gathering here at Town Hall on Sunday, but warn if anyone breaks the law or begins to march, they will encounter the full force of the law.
We have 18,000 police in the New South Wales Police Force. We will not be underdone.
Our reaction is that it's going to go ahead. We're talking about people in Sydney who have families right now in Gaza being bombed.
Claiming it's their democratic right to protest.
Taylor Aiken, 7 News.
Sydney's Jewish community is holding a vigil in the eastern suburbs this evening. Let's go live to Annie Puller. Annie, the exact location had to be kept secret.
That's right, Mark, but it hasn't stopped the thousands of people right behind me from turning out here to Dover Heights to mourn victims and show solidarity with Israel. The location had to be kept under wraps until now due to safety fears following Monday night's pro-Palestinian rally. There is a huge police presence here, including the public order riot squad. A pole air has been hovering above, and private security organisers say they want their voices heard.
And the fact that this inhumanity to man that we thought would never happen again since the Holocaust and has happened just has shocked everyone, and we need to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Premier Chris Minns, the police minister and the opposition leader are joining community members here. Those attending asked to wear blue and white, the colours of the Israeli flag. Mark?
OK, Annie Puller in Sydney's East. Thank you. Israel has identified the mastermind of the horrific weekend attack. Mohammed Daif is the supreme military commander of Hamas, who has escaped capture or assassination for decades. Tonight, he's being labelled the new Osama bin Laden, and America is helping to hunt him down.
Unable to hide his disgust,
this was an act of sheer evil.
Joe Biden still reeling from the horror of Hamas.
More than 1,000 civilians slaughtered. Parents butchered using their bodies to try to protect their children. Entire families slain.
From the Situation Room today, a call with Prime Minister Netanyahu, Biden and his military chiefs vowing to aid Israel as it hunts the mastermind of this attack. Mohammed Daif, the secretive Hamas commander, a bomb maker and anti-Israel hardliner. For decades, he's avoided assassination, moving from safe house to safe house. Many simply know him as the guest or the cat with 9 lives.
The one who is running the show at the moment is Mohammed Daif.
To catch him, Israel will likely need more than the additional ammunition and Iron Dome interceptors America has committed. But beyond that,
there are no plans or intentions to put U.S. combat troops on the ground in Israel in this conflict.
With skin in the game in 2 wars now, both in Israel and Ukraine, the big question now facing America is how to resource them. Both countries are looking to the United States for assistance with financing and firepower. It's a major drain, but the White House is confident it can keep up.
We stand with Israel.